All right, on this video we're going to do a compound interest problem, second compound interest problem, and this time it's just going to be compounded quarterly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do it with the calculator. The first examinations for IB 2014 says you can use the finance app on the calculator. You don't really have to show your work on it. So all you need to do is really write down what you're putting on the calculator. Now, what it says here, oh, by the way, this video is dedicated to my friend Cracky. Yee. All right, here we go. Joe places $5,000 in a bank account that pays 4% per annum compounded quarterly. Okay, the thing you need to know about quarterly is that it is 4 times per year, quarterly. So what they can do is they can do monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. Semi-annually is twice a year. Quarterly is 4 times a year. Monthly would be obviously 12 times a year. Okay, so the more it's compounded, the more interest you're going to get. That's basically the rule of thumb. So what he originally starts with $5,000, okay, after 7 years. Okay, so the way we would do this is in the finance app, you have, it goes N, which is the number of compounding periods, or the number of periods, the interest rate, the present value, the payment, which is always 0. You don't have to worry about that. The future value, that's what we want to find. And then the payments per year and the compounding per year. Okay, so if we're going to look at this problem, I always just like to fill in what we have here. So it says he starts with $5,000. Well, he's putting up the $5,000, so the present value is always negative. So you just put negative $5,000 here. The way I look at that, you're putting it up, so it has to be negative. If you put both of them positive, it's not going to work. That's the problem. Now, if you do leave this positive, your future value is going to be negative, which it doesn't really matter. Obviously, it's going to be more than $5,000. Okay, so the interest rate is 4% per annum. Now, it's compounded quarterly. Okay, so we're going to find the future value. So we're going to find this right here. Okay. And then it's compounded quarterly. So this is, both these are going to be 4. They're always the same. Now, how many? The n is the kind of tricky part here. Okay, so how many payments are there going to be? Well, if there's 4 per year times 7, so 7 times 4, you would get 28 different payment cycles. And this is actually pretty relevant to real life, like when you have a car payment or something like that for 5 years, 12 times a year, you have 60 payments. So anyway, this is going to be 28 payments. So what we can do is we can break out the calculator here, turn it on, and I'm just going to enter in all my stuff here. So I got 28. Let's see. Interest rate's 4. Present value, again, make it negative. In this type of problem, if you don't make it negative, it's actually not that big of a deal, but it's a good habit to get into. We're going to find the future value, the payment's 0, and then these are both going to be 4. Okay, so what we need to do, the payments, or the end and beginning is when it calculates the interest at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, or the end of the compounding period, actually. So don't even worry about that. It's usually at the end. And then future value. So now we need to solve. So what you just do is you go to alpha and press the enter key, which is solve. So it's going to be 6,000, what is it, 6,606 and 45 cents. So 6,606 and 45 cents. Now, be careful with a question like this because, if it's dollars, you usually have to go to 2 decimal places. Sometimes they'll say to the nearest dollar, which would be, 6,606. So just be careful because you can lose a point, a financial penalty for that if you're not careful. So anyway, that's that. Now let's see what we got for part B. This is where you kind of have to work backwards a little bit. Joe decides to withdraw the money when there is $5,634.13 in the account. How long has it been in the account? Okay, so we kind of have to work backwards here. So we have, let's see, NI, present value, payment, okay, and then future value. So we actually know that. And then PY and CY. Okay, so again, let's see here. Okay, so we're going to assume it's still compounded quarterly. They don't say otherwise. So these would both be 4. The future value, they give us a future value, so that's 5,634 and 13. The payment is always going to be 0. The present value, well, that's just what he started with, so that's negative 5,000. Now here in this problem, if you put both of these 5,000 and 5,600 as positive, you're going to get an error message on the calculator, so just be careful about that. One of them has to be negative. The interest rate, well, okay, we're going to assume it's still 4%. And then what they want us to find is n. Okay, so this is what we're going to find right here. Now, we have to be a little careful when we find this because we're actually not going to be finding the number of years. We're going to be finding the number of quarters. So let's see. Let's just clear this off here. So 0, 4, okay, negative 5,000. That's still the same. Payment 0. And what is it? 56, 34, and 13 cents. And most of the time when you do this, you'll get a pretty standard answer. So if you get some jacked up answer, yeah, you might want to check your work. But all right, let's calculate this. So again, alpha solve. Now the answer here is 12. Okay, now what a lot of kids might make a mistake here is they go, oh, okay, 12 years. Well, it's actually not 12 years because we were calculating in quarters, so it's 12 payments. Now there's 4 per year, so if you do obviously 12 divided by 3, or excuse me, whoops, 12 divided by 4, that's going to be 3 years. So he's had the money in the bank for 3 years. Now, again, like if I had made a mistake there, if I had said 12 years, that makes absolutely no sense because we had up here, we had 7 years and it was only 6,600. This is less money. So you kind of have to, just use your common sense here. Anyway, the finance app, if you get good at it, it's really, really good tool to use. And hopefully this helped you out. All right, take it easy.